Hello everyone, this is Benjamin Ramirez. I'm doing a little faster game this time just because I noticed some of the games there's like huge pauses and I feel that I just don't want to, really deal with a few pauses. Now if this opening I like a6 if he captures, I usually capture the d pawn, leaving my, I'll show you if he does it. If he doesn't then I capture usually d pawn. Most people tell you to capture towards the center. There's a reason why I do it this way, even though, and he didn't do it. If he took my pawn with his knight, I just move my queen to d4, forking his knight and pawn. So it's just I can start creating some threats through that. So he didn't do it, and that's fine. Now I just continue my development. So far, I think everything is normal. I usually find out later. I just go on the engine after, and then that's how I get my defenses and everything set up. So, looks like he's trying to prepare for d4 push. So I gotta consider what to do, if anything, about it, or if I should just allow it and not worry about it or not care. If I do nothing, he'll cramp my pieces, I think. Because d4, I capture, he captures, and then he can push to e4 pawn. So I'm going to do this just to prevent that. It's blocking in my bishop, but I can always move it back to e square, e2. No, I'm black. Back to the e7 square if I need to. So it does that. I'm thinking of doing f6, even though that's not normally recommended, but I'm considering it just to. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. It's not normally recommended because the f7 square is a weak square, and it's just normally not that good. But he doesn't have a light square bishop, so that kind of makes me feel more comfortable doing it. I'm gonna get my castle in. I was thinking about doing c6, but I really probably should castle right now before it's too late. He's got a battery going. He got his pawn out. I don't really like this too much for me. If he captures my pawn and I capture with my bishop, then he can take my queen. And if I recapture, he takes my rook. So I would have to capture with my pawn back if he were to capture. I'm gonna. And I don't want to move my bishop right now because I don't have any good squares to move it to I can think of. I can go to g4, pinning the knight. Pinning the knight to the rook. But I don't like my options right now. I feel a little constricted. I'm not really sure what to do exactly. But right now, I'll just follow normal, simple stuff like pinning and possible creating threats when I can. If I'm just doing a passive move because I'm not sure, then I'm letting him to develop and allowing him to make his plans come into more life. So I don't want to do that. I'm thinking about doing c6 then queen to c7 just to get my queen out of the rook range, and I don't want to move my queen, leaving my bishop hanging somehow. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't like the whole capture recapture thing, so I'm gonna do that and then my queen. All right. Okay. Well, his king side is a bit weakened now, so maybe I can eventually take advantage of that. And this is why I didn't want to move my other piece, but I can still. I'm glad that c6 for this reason. I want to give me somewhere for my queen to go while, making sure my bishop is fine. I mean, bishop would still been defended with the other move, but then moving his pawn down one eventually would make my queen in a bad spot, so. I feel like I don't have many threats right now. I might just try to do this right here, just in case that pawn opens up somewheres. I mean, at some point. I'm not sure exactly where to move my knight on. That's on e7. It looks like it's pretty cramped. I can probably move to c8 and then b6, but that's a lot of movement just to get a piece into place. So right now I'm considering f4. That's my thoughts for my bishop. It's defended by my queen and rook, so he can't actually capture with his queen. As I'm considering that just because like I said, I want to create more threats and so forth. But I want to make sure something that's worth it, like it's something that's going to make him move or do something that's beneficial for me. I also can move my knight to d5, and if he captures with his knight, I capture with my pawn. Getting rid of my inactive, yeah, I'll get rid of my inactive knight for his more active one. I also lose a pawn in the exchange, but I'm not too concerned about losing a pawn. I like activity more than pawns, but if my activity doesn't do well and it's not worth it, then I am pretty much, here you go. I mean, I can take the pawn with the bishop after this, since it's protected by my rook. And I just found this app I can actually go over my game, which is pretty cool. This app is called Lichess, Lichess. After every game, you can actually review it. I did not know that in my first videos. Now that I can, I might take a small look afterward. See if I made any mistakes or not and what to do about it. A lot of people just play chess. It's very good to play, review, play, review, play, review. That way, you're getting the most out of your games and you're learning. Otherwise, if you're not learning from every game, then it's very possible that you're going to be missing making the same mistakes over and over. So he definitely has a discover check with his queen and rook. So I'm gonna move my queen. I mean, I can actually move my bishop to f7. I almost moved my king right away because of my time, but I'm gonna move my bishop down because it would basically, yeah, that's a nice issue he has there. I didn't think too much, so I don't know if he can actually solve it in a good, effective way, but I'm assuming he's not gonna be able to. And this is why I like bishops more than knights, so I would trade for them when possible. Even though the scope of the bishops are better than the knights can go any color, so that's kind of their advantage. Bishop's advantage is their scope of attack, and I like the more lines and scoping attack than than anywhere. So I guess knights are better for close corners, and bishops are better for open spaces, and this is very open. So always gotta watch for those bishops for those type of pins and so forth. So I'll just recap for that. Now, if I capture the queen and he captures my queen, I capture his rook. So he really didn't save it. He probably thought he did, but he really didn't. Because I still have an advantage. And then I can file my rooks together and attack his knight. So, which he most likely will move, but... in this position, I rather take his... Like, I'm not going to be able to checkmate immediately. He moves his knight, I take the pawn, his king goes, I take his pawn on f2, his king moves, then I take his other pawn. I'm just going to try to take advantage of my rooks to take his pawns out and just move up my pawns for a queen. I'm not going to be able to checkmate him right away, like I said. It's just not going to happen. So he's looking to fork my rooks, it looks like to me, at e6 square. I'll just call check. And I will take the pawn. Now, it's important for me to, if I'm not paying attention, I'm moving quickly, it's a good idea to have my rooks on different colors, just so I don't run into an accidental fork with the knight. And it's a lot simpler when there's not very many pieces on the board. I don't have to concern myself with so many different thoughts and concerns. Like if there was a knight and bishop, I'd have to worry about diagonals and a fork. So it's really nice to have that, especially with the 2 minutes left, 2:30 seconds. The reason I don't like 5-minute games or less is because I blunder a lot. Sometimes I blunder in 10-minute games. I might have, and I don't think I did, but I will find out because after this game, I can look at stuff, which is pretty nice on this app. So right now, that knight has no squares to go to. He just blocked in his knight. He just blocked in his knight. So I'm going to just take his knight. I don't know why. I mean, he should have went. Yeah, he should have went to f4 with his king if he was trying to protect his pawn. So his knight had an escape square. Now there's a little button here at the bottom middle kind of bottom middle, little scope thing. Click it, and it'll tell you pretty much what's going on. Ray Lupus exchange variation, and it tells you mistaken inaccuracies. I'm gonna see if there's a way to. I'm not really used to this, so I'm not sure how it works. I made one blunder out of the whole game. 2 inaccuracies, 1 mistake, 3 blunders. Okay, still evaluating. Oh, wait a second. See if okay. I'll wait until it's done loading. I thought it was that fast, so I guess it's not. I guess this is time, I believe, spent on each move. That's what it looks like to me. I made 2 blunders. Wow. He made 2 blunders. I was still loading. I made 2 inaccuracies, 2 blunders. He made 6 inaccuracies, which I've noticed a lot of stuff. Blunders, which I'm pretty sure that's where I captured his 2 pieces. He didn't capture mine, so I would definitely like to see what my blunders are. This is a really good app, by the way. It's called The Chess. Okay, everything seems fairly normal. Well, I guess this is an actual line since they didn't call it a mistake. I do it for my own reasons. I like, like I said. So, this is an actual line. So that makes me feel good. I knew I was blocking in my bishop. Knowing it's an actual line, it was very nice. When I think of stuff and I'm not sure, I'm not very good at openings, what's that called? Memorization or opening theories and all that. I mean, I understand opening ideas, but I don't know actual, real, concrete openings. The fact that I lasted as long as I did with it was pretty cool. D4, CX takes D4, CX takes D4. Now I was unsure about F6, and it does say inaccurate. I guess the idea is this, then that. I don't like that at all. I would have to move my queen to F6 afterward. He can fork my queen with the pawn, and I can take it with the bishop, but then his rook can move over. I don't even know what to do in this position, really. But according to them, this is the good line to do. Like I said, I wouldn't know what to go from here, because he can move his pawn down, attacking my. I mean, he has a space right there. He can attack the G7 pawn with his queen. If I move my bishop anywhere, he can take my queen. If I move my knight up, he can fork him. Me losing a piece. I don't. Yeah, an F3 doesn't work. I already explained why for me. I don't like it at all. I'm sure they have their reasons, and I'm sure they calculated something I haven't. But F6 is considered inaccurate. However, with my chess knowledge, it worked just fine for me. Someone else more advanced would have probably taken advantage of my inaccuracy. But anything else I done, I would have lost. So, even though it would have been correct, I still would have lost. Which means maybe I should brush up on this later. It's called Ray Lupus exchange variation king something. I have a chess engine, so I'll look it up later with it. I'll look it up later for myself. So, all right, that was pretty fun. That's considered inaccurate. You can look through this right here. I'll slowly scroll. You can, if you have your own chessboard, you can look through it if you want to. But excuse me. Of course, you have to pause it a couple of times. I'm not gonna put too much time on the video. But that's pretty much it. And if you like my videos or my thoughts or my ideas on how I talk about stuff, you know, I'm gonna go. I never really go over my games with people, so not to just in depth after it's over. So I'll think about how to continue late in the next video and how to go about it. So thank you for watching, and if you want, you can subscribe. I'm gonna be making more and more videos. So all right, good luck and play well.